So we start the webinar officially now. Thank you everybody for joining, for taking interest. As you already know, you're here to hear more about Open Call 1 for Social Innovators that is being run by SoTecIn Factory, an InnoFunded project. Now I'm giving the floor to Gustavo Dal Marco. Gustavo Dal Marco is the project coordinator from Sept, one of the project partners. He's going to tell you a little bit more about the project itself. So go ahead, Gustavo.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Milana, for the introduction. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about SoTecIn Factory as a whole, so you can understand what's the objective of the open calls and what we expect from the applicants. So the project is in a mission for a more sustainable and resilient industry. So next, can I click there? I don't know. No, I can't. Okay. The SoTecIn Factory project, just let me take the camera out of these slides. Sorry. Okay, now you are here. Take a look. Okay, so we have several goals here, but the main one is to create this collaborative environment with industry and society. SoTecIn Factory wants to raise awareness about social innovation, about circular economy, and how can social entrepreneurs support these missions. So that's why we are here working on these open calls to promote and support social entrepreneurs and social innovation companies who aim to develop solutions for these circular challenges that we are facing nowadays. Next one, please. So quickly, this is our consortium. So I'm from Sept, Luisa and Milana from F6S. We also have on board Metabolic, CNR, BWCon, and Impact Hub. And Impact Hub will have the main unit and also the units at Amsterdam, Bucharest, Budapest, Munich, Istanbul, Lisbon, and Milan. And this is how SoTecIn Factory approach all the regions in Europe. We are working directly with the Impact Hubs to have a broader reach throughout all the regions in Europe. Okay, next one, please. So what we do, so we'll focus on the improving the circularity of 4 key product value chains. It's 4 out of 7 because the strategic plan of the European Union is towards 7 key product value chains, but in contact with the impact hubs and the communities they represent, we understood that these 4 are the main value chains that need activities and need solutions to improve their circularity. So we have here packaging and plastics. These are 2 regions which we grouped in only one because they have very similar challenges. And this is the main value chain for the center-north region. We also have textile that's being approached in 2 regions of the project, so northwest and center-south. And also food, water, and nutrients that you can see that have 4 regions of Europe. So in that way, you are able to encompass other countries in Europe, addressing the value chains that are more important for that specific region. The next one, please. So why we are doing that? So not only aiming for circular value chains to reduce waste, keep products and materials in continuous use, extend life cycle, and so on, but also to work on a resilient industry. I think COVID showed us that the current value chains, they are not resilient for an impact like the one we had with COVID. So we are here also working on the capacity of the European industry to adapt, transform in face of change. And let me say most important, aiming for systemic changes, not only supporting companies for this one year period, and that's it. We are aiming for lasting structural change in order to address the circularity issues and the social issues that we are facing in the European industry. So next one, please. So SoTecIn Factory focus on the what we call the high value R's. So the R's are circular strategies that are broadly discussed when talking about a circular economy. Most of you probably know not a lot about recycle and recover, but we are here trying to address the strategies that have a bigger impact in extending the life cycle of products and materials. So these reduce, refuse, reuse, refurbish, and so on. These strategies are those that try to keep the product as it is, as long as possible, extending the life cycle and then reducing the need for recycling or disassembling a certain product. So our focus are on these high value R's. Next one, please. So the key concepts of the project is defining a mission-based approach. So the 7 regions that I presented before, those regions, they have regional community missions, which were selected by a mission council that we call. The mission council are representatives, stakeholders that represent those specific regions. So their role in this project is not only to define what is the circular mission for that specific value chain, but also they have a role here in keeping the mission or preventing the mission's drift. That is preventing the solutions to go another way than that the goal that was initially foreseen for a circular and social approach. So besides that, we also have the concept of open innovation that you probably are all familiar with. And these companies apply to the challenge owners. So based on the missions for the regions, we got representatives from society, and they presented us, okay, we have a mission, and this mission is based on specific challenges that the industry and the society is faced. So these challenges are the ones that you should address in the open calls. So you can see in the open call documentations, which are the challenges that we have and which are the solutions foreseen for those challenges. And we also have the concept of social innovation, so civil society actors delivering circular solutions to social ventures. So the companies you are looking for is not only tech-driven companies or companies with tech-driven solutions, but companies who also have this social approach. Just a comment here. I know that's a lot of expressions, a lot of maybe new words for some of you. So that's why in our website we have a glossary that has an explanation for all these concepts and so on. So if you didn't understand or you're not familiar with the concept of social innovation or open innovation or the mission councils and so on, you can check our website and we have there a glossary with explaining all those different concepts. Next one, Milena, please. Okay, so this is how the project works as a whole. So I'll quickly go through each of the boxes. So the first one is when we selected the regional value chains, the key value chains for each of the regions in Europe. Then step 2, we formulated the missions based on these value chains. From the missions, we go to step 3 when we define the challenge owners, so representatives from society who filled up a challenge that is specific for that value chain. So we have real life challenges, it's not just ideas that came to our mind and we filled up. These are challenges that came from companies, from civil society, and so on. So based on these challenges, this is where we are now. So we have the open call for the 50 social innovators. So we have 25, we'll select 25 participants in this open call. And then we'll have another open call in 2024, where we'll select other 25 participants. So This open call is divided in two main steps, two main phases, let's say. The first phase is more based on social entrepreneurship support, as you can see there. So business model, capacity building, how to adjust yourself for intellectual property, fundraising strategies, and so on. So from these 25 companies, the 15 companies that have a more, let's say, a more mature project, then out of the 25, we'll select 15 who will then have support for co-development and co-design of the solution. So in the end of this 1 year program, we'll have a demonstration of the solution for potential investors. Next one, please. Yes, and as I was saying in the beginning, so the project is more than supporting social companies, more than supporting startups. It's about creating a community and raising awareness about circular economy and social innovation. So that's why we created this channel, Innovative Minds, the SoTecIn Factory community. This is not our the project LinkedIn page. This is a separate page on LinkedIn, where we will create and disseminate material related to open innovation, to social innovation, to circular economy, and also disseminate opportunities, strategies, and create also discussion among the participants. So we are aiming for a very active group of discussions about circular economy and social innovation. So please join our channel on LinkedIn. Next one, please. Yes, sorry if I was too quick. I think it took me more or less 10 minutes, but Milana told me that I should leave time for the open calls and mainly for the questions that you probably have a lot. So all this information is available in our website. I just wanted to give you a quick overview about the project, and now I'll leave the floor to Luisa and Milana to continue the presentation. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Gustavo, for your nice presentation. So I'm going here to give some more practical information about how to apply to the open call. So first of all, I'm Luisa Gonçalves. I'm from F6S. F6S is a partner of SoTecIn Factory, and we are here responsible for the open call management. So we are responsible for following up all the applicants and the proposals since the beginning until the deployment phase. So the program in a nutshell that Gustavo has already gave some information about the call, but the intention of the SoTecIn Factory open call for social innovators is to distribute some funding for mission-driven social innovator in order to develop not only innovative circular solutions, but also to support these companies on the capacity building and business. So we as Gustavo mentioned before, we intend to hire to attract in this first phase 25 tech-savvy innovators. They will be funded up to 100,000 euros, and this program is divided into two phases. So, as mentioned before as well, the mission is to boost the systematic industry changes, to support the low carbon and circular economy transition, and of course to support the pre-market technological demonstrator based on our circular strategies. For benefits, in terms of money, we have already mentioned that, but I'm going into details in the next slides. It's up to 100,000 euros, and this program is divided into two phases that involve not only the capacity building, but also the pre-market technological demonstration. So as a timeline, the open call has been launched in last July. So it's now open, and we are going to receive applications until late September, 28th of September. Then we move to a more, let's say, administrative process that involves the evaluation of the proposals. And we are going to count with internal and external evaluators to analyze all the proposals. And in November, December, we move to the contracting phase of the selected applicants. So the program itself, the deployment phase of the program will start in January of next year until July, the phase 1, and the phase 2 will start in August. Just to highlight that in this first phase, we intend to select 25 tech-safe innovators, and they will be funded up to 15K in equity-free funding. And this first phase will involve the capacity building and the circular business support. The second phase, so these 25 will go through an internal evaluation. And from these 25, we are going to select 15 tech-safe innovators to advance to the pre-market technological demonstrators. And this group of 15 will be funded with up to 85K euros. So who can apply? This open call is very open in terms of target applicants. So we intend to attract and to select members of civil society. That involves individuals as organization representatives, legal entities, and any kind of organizations. The entities should be legally established in European Union or in any country that is associated to European Union. So the list of the countries and all the information you can find on the open call documents. So as mentioned before, the target value chains for this call is plastic and packaging, food, water and nutrients, and textiles. So the type of applications, we are selecting 3 types of applications. So it means that applicants can choose among 3 types of applications. The first one is challenge, the top-down approach. So as Gustavo mentioned before, the project formulated and the 21 challenges that are now available on our website, and the applicants that are interested in addressing one of these 21 challenges can apply in this modality, to this modality, the challenge. So the information about the challenge and all the details about the challenge formulated in SoTecIn Factory can be found in the guidelines for applicants. Later on in the next slides, we are going to provide you all the links, but here is just to highlight that you can find all the information in our guideline available at the website. The second one, the second modality of applications is innovate. It focused more on those social innovator that has a solution, but our challenge defined in SoTecIn Factory does not fit to this solution. So in this case, the applicant can propose a new challenge to address. So and of course, it's very important that this innovator be an organization or an individual representing an organization. And the third modality is a consortium. So in case that a consortium of 2 companies has, for example, a solution and a challenge, they can apply to SoTecIn Factory open call as a consortium. There are some rules regarding this consortium that I recommend that you go to the documents and check it. regarding the funding of the consortium and the different aspects regarding how to apply as a consortium. But it's just to highlight that we accept single organizations for the challenge and innovate modality, and the 2-in-1 is the modality that will accept a consortium to apply to the call. Here's just the highlights that, our open call is very, let's say, democratic in terms of target applicants. So we offer different type of applications for those who has a challenges or for those who has not a challenge. But it's very important that all the proposals to be aligned with the SoTecIn Factory missions. So I'm not going into details here with the missions because it would be another webinar, but it's very important that you keep in mind that if you have a solution, if you have a challenge, it's very important to be aligned with the missions of the SoTecIn Factory. So you can see here that all the information is available on our website, and you have the link, or you can go to SoTecinFactory.eu and navigate throughout the whole website, because everything will be somehow related to the missions. That is the background of all the activities that has been developed in the project. So another highlight is based on the questions that I have been receiving a lot, and so I thought that it would be important to highlight that although we have been working internally here with some targeted regions, and all the 21 challenges are related to these regions and missions, companies based on different regions can apply. So it doesn't mean that, for example, if you only companies based on the region of Southwest can apply to the SoTecIn Factory open call. No, if you are in Europe, if you are based in Europe or in other associated countries, you can apply to SoTecIn Factory. And another point that is so important, that individuals are eligible and organizations are eligible. But individuals should be part of a legal entity with a valid VAT at the time of the contracting phase, because we are going to check everything during this phase. And organizations doesn't need to have a valid VAT to apply. But in the contracting phase, if selected, we are going to request this, because it's a rule that we cannot sign a contract with individuals, only with organizations. It's a basic rule of the open call, and and I would like to highlight this because I have been receiving a lot of questions about this. So just keep in mind that during the contracting phase, we are going to check all the documents, and we are going to ask you to the valid VAT or the company registration number. So in a very, very practical way, how to apply, the first thing you should do is to access the SoTecIn Factory open call page. So you go there, and there will be a section dedicated to the open call with some summarized information about the call. But it's very important that you read the guideline for applicants, because there you find all the rules that I'm summarizing, and there you find the complete information about the rules, about the eligibility. You will find the links to check if, for example, if your company is eligible, if your country is eligible. You find the challenge, the 21 challenges defined in SoTecIn Factory is there as an annex. And you can also check if the budget limited fits to your company, if the timeline is okay for you. You will find, and also the type of applications and the explanation in details about it. So one of the important things that I would like to highlight is that, of course, you will fill a form to apply, but it's important that you upload a document. In this document, you have the opportunity to detail your solution. So we we developed this document to enable you to tell us about your proposal and to go into details with your proposal and with the solution. So it's very important to to download this document, because we in our website the template is available. It's very important to fill out this document, and then you will upload on the open call on the open call form in F6S platform. So just to highlight that applications without these documents will not be evaluated. So it's very important that you spend some time on preparing this document, because evaluators will focus on the information there, on the information about your solution, in order to analyze all the aspects of your proposal. So that's a recommendation, because sometimes I receive some applications that does not have this document, or companies upload different documents that are not agree with this template. So it's very important to have this template there in order in order for your proposal to be evaluated. So submit your proposal. When you are on the website of, you'll be guided to the F6S platform, and there you will fill a very, very simple form just with some basic information, and upload the template with your solution details. So the deadline for this call is up to the 28th of September, so we still have less than a month, but there are some days. We still have some days to apply. So here I'll give the floor to Milana, because she will give you some practical information about the links and how to apply in a very simple way. Milana, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Luisa. Thank you to both of you, to Luisa and Gustavo. So I'm here to tell you a bit more about where you can get more information, the similar one that you received now. So as Luisa said, all of this was told is summarized in the project website, most importantly on the open call guide, which is having all of the terms and conditions detailed. If you all have access, yes, you do. In the chat, you can see the messages that I sent to all. So I've sent the link to the project website page explaining the call. You can find it in the chat. And I have also sent the link to the application form that Luisa just mentioned, and an application form that you will actually be submitting the technical annex and information needed to apply. If you do need more information, you can always write to us directly. You have this email here, SoTecIn Factory @f6s.com, or you can ask the questions directly in the F6S discussion panel. You can actually see it in the corner of the application form and the F6 page that I share with you, the panel itself. Luisa, can you just go to the next slide? Yes. Okay, so if you like this experience, you would like to repeat it, or you would just love to, suggest this open call to another peer of yours, please be reminded that we have another info webinar coming on 20th of September at 11 a.m. CET, and where we will basically repeat everything. You'll be able to ask once again the questions. But if you are interested in a specific mission and the challenges related to it, please know that we also have regional mission info webinars. These webinars are hosted by the local info hubs that Gustavo mentioned in the beginning. And here you can see the full list of dates. In fact, we're having already one hosted this week on 7th September by region of East. That is the East, the region that covers Turkey, Armenia, and Georgia, and the food, water, and nutrients value chain. So you still have time to apply, and you have a pretty busy next week, from 20th, 13th and 14th September up until 21st September. So there are a lot of events based on the mission that you're interested in. So we suggest that you go to the website, specifically the events page, to register for any of these webinars that you see here. In fact, in the chat, I have shared the link directly leading to this events page. So yes, you can find more information, registration there. But as we said, feel free to always write to us if you need more info. Louisa, can you go to the next slide? And yes, so before I open the floor to questions, which by the way can be asked in the Q&A section, we already have some. Just wanted to let you know that SoTecIn Factory is always there to be your channel of news about not just this open call, but generally about social innovation, circular economy in the industry. You can always find us on different types of social media channels, you know, from LinkedIn, Twitter to Instagram and YouTube. Write to us directly or find us on the website, subscribe to the newsletter. We are once again mentioning Innovating Minds, SoTecIn Factory community, the LinkedIn group that Gustavo mentioned, and which is already is a place where you can mingle with your industry peers and talk about social innovation, circular economy. In fact, LinkedIn group is one of the links that we shared in the chat. So I invite you to all check the chat and see all the useful links. And now we will proceed to Q&A section to see the questions asked. I will read them aloud. So the first question is, can a solution target multiple solutions? Is that a benefit? I probably think it's probably about the different multiple challenges or multiple missions. So Louisa, would you be the one to answer the question maybe?
Yes, you can target multiple challenges. So when you mean solution, if you mean challenges, you can apply to multiple challenges, but as long as it's aligned with the missions. And if there is a specific benefits for this, no, the benefits is up to 100k euros in terms of money, 15k euros in the first phase and 85k euros in the second phase. And the program itself, about, for example, in the first phase, you will be supported in the capacity building and business. And in the second one will be the pre-market demonstration. So it's the same for all, regardless you are applying with one challenge or multiple challenges. I don't know if, Gustavo, you have something to add here? Oh, it's okay?
No, I think that was the same thing I was going to answer.
Okay.
The other question is, one of the anonymous attendees told us that their innovation, their solution is aligned with more than one mission. They mentioned electronics, plastics, possibly others. So the question here is, should this applicant focus on one mission, or should they demonstrate that they're aligned across several?
Maybe I can go on that because it's more or less the same as the previous one. So just to reinforce. Yes, you can say that it's aligned with more than one mission or more than one challenge. I think this is a plus in the solution because it probably have a broader impact, the different value chains and so on. I'm not sure if in the application you can choose more than one challenge or more than one mission, but you certainly can write there in the application that your solution can also be addressed to that mission or that challenge. We also saw that, for example, we can see that in the fashion industry, but also in the food industry, there are discussions about traceability, the digital, the green passport, and so on. So certainly we'll have solutions that can be applied to more than one challenge or more than one mission. So yes, that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you, Gustavo. Another question is more related to readiness levels, how to define them, since the attendee is more focus. So I'm going to read the full question. Although the focus and emphasis is on social innovators instead of technology providers appreciated, despite the mentions, that it's not just about technology tools. How do we define readiness level of the solution if it is not a technology tool? So the applicant is also, mentioning technology readiness level versus innovation readiness level. So what do we do if somebody's applying with a technological tool or IT solution? So how do we help them to define the readiness level?
Can I answer that?
Yes,
okay, so we used technology readiness level because this is the standard that the European Commission uses. So everyone is more or less familiar with that. If you're not, just type it in Google. It's very easy to find the definition. This was a tool developed by NASA for the space program and so on. So it's very simple, and it has a very understandable scale from an idea passing through a laboratory experimental test to a final commercial solution. So that's why we used the technology readiness level. You'll probably find a way to fit it because in the end, what we are aiming for is demonstrating a solution. So in the demonstration of a solution. So if it's an IT solution, it certainly fits in the technology readiness level. But if you think it's not so well explained, please, anyway, assign the technology readiness level that think it fits or they are more appropriate, and write it in the text box and explain a bit more about technology. So we need to make a decision when we're organizing the open call documents. There was also discussion about social readiness level and so on. But we thought that as the European Commission uses the TRL as a scale for projects and outcomes and so on, so we thought that would be the more appropriate scale to use here.
Yes, I would like just to add what Gustavo said about the TRL. For example, if you don't have the TRL goes from a lower level that is involved the idea and the concept, and until the higher level that is the prototype and the validation in the market. So if you don't have an idea of the number of the TRL, you can even describe for us, okay, my solution is on the idea level or the concept level, or I already have a prototype, and we are going to understand well at what level we are your solution is.
I added a link on Euraxis explaining the TRL and so on, so you can check more information there.
Okay, we have another question. Are there any restrictions on obtaining funding from other sources as well?
Yes, maybe I can answer that. Maybe he's referring or she's referring to the participation in another European projects or another initiatives that receive fundings or cascade funding. Yes, it's perfectly okay, because there are no restrictions on participating in more than one European project. So it's okay. There is no restriction here.
Just one comment here. Of course, you should avoid financing twice the same project. I mean, of course, you can, as a company, have two different projects and so on, but you can't, let's say, you shouldn't declare twice the same expenses in two sources. So this is just something that the European Commission is very, I mean, they are with a big eye on that, because they are making it easier for the open calls and the lump sum and so on. So we don't need to declare expense, don't need to have a formal declaration of expenses, even though you have to keep all the invoices and so on in case of any auditing from the Commission. So in that sense, you just need to, you just can't declare the same expenses in two different projects. It's just that, but there is no limitation in having a separate funding and so on.
Okay, so another question is, does any type of application, challenge, innovation, or two-in-one has priority or privilege over others during evaluation?
No. There is no priority or privilege. So we have developed an evaluation process to evaluate and analyze the proposals equally. So there is no difference or priority or privilege.
Okay, then we have another question. Are there any requirements or recommendation for milestones and deliverables?
No, I don't think we have a requirement here, because it depends on the solution and on the project scope that they are going to propose. But my recommendation would be to prepare some milestones and deliverables that agree with the timeline of the program, for example, with a start and some phase to develop, and with a conclusion of the project, because as I mentioned during the presentation, we have a timeline during the deployment phase, and of course evaluators will analyze if your proposal will be matched with this timeline, that is 7 months and 5 months and 7 months, 1 year in total.
Okay, we have quite a lot of questions, and thank you for that. So in some cases, the challenges ask for a service or tool, a product. So besides submitting a solution, the proposal should be linked to a business model that will generate revenue. Are we actually looking for business ideas?
Yes,
Luisa, should you
I
be the one
think so,
answer?
but Gustavo, you can elaborate.
Yes,
on
I
this.
mean, we are looking for both. It should have a good business idea, but it also should have a solution, because the main goal here is to develop a demonstration of that solution. So you should have both. It's not just like a hackathon that you just have an idea and discuss the business model. Here you should have a product or a service in the end as a result. So we are looking for both.
Okay, another question is, are there any possibility to use the first 7 months also for software development besides deployment guidance? Is it allowed to define work packages related to software development in phase 1?
It's more on the deployment phase. Maybe Gustavo can elaborate more.
Yes, I don't think it's a problem. I think the problem is funding, because we want to have a 15K funding the first phase, and the bigger amount is on the second phase, but it's only for 15 out of the 25. So you might, if you are, let's say, investing in more software development in the first phase, expecting to get paid in the second phase, that might not happen. So, but it's not an issue. I think it's, and this is I think it's a very good question, because you have to present your work plan according to your specific assets and the product you want to develop. If you see that you need more than 5 months to develop the solution and you want to start earlier, I think it's a good initiative.
Another question is, social innovators, are they different to for-profit organization or not?
I don't think there is any difference here, because we are accepting any type of organization. So any type of organization is eligible. So we don't put any specificity on the social innovator terms and the kinds of types of organizations.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to have a social approach in your business model.
Exactly.
A very interesting question. Can one of the 21 challenge owners apply to other challenges as a solution provider?
question. It was a big discussion.
We discussed that. Of course, you can't apply for your own challenge, but if this is a different, I think I know who this is, because I remember we already had that question before. Yes, you can if it is a different solution. So you just can't, of course, you can't apply for your own challenge or a different challenge that is directly related to yours, because they will be funding your own ideas. But you can, if you see that you have a solution for a different challenge, yes, you can apply.
Another anonymous attendee is telling us that they're under the impression that target participants are ideally startups. What about companies who have a solid history in the industry?
They are still eligible because we open to the civil society. So although probably maybe, I don't know, we will have more startups or SMEs applying, but solid history companies can apply, because we don't put any restriction here.
And now we're having also a question from an Estonian-based company who are up-valuing textile waste into premium-looking packaging. Our packaging are alternative to single-use cardboard. Can we apply to this call?
This kind of trick questions that we cannot analyze here in a first glance if it's eligible or not. So my recommendation is to apply and to detail your proposal so that we can better analyze if it fits to the call or not. Maybe Gustavo, if you would like to add
something. I mean, don't be shy to apply to the calls, because you could bring, I mean, our packaging are alternative to single-use cardboard. That's very interesting. So yes, you can apply. Estonian is still Europe, right? So is it?
Yes, Estonia is definitely eligible for the call.
Sorry about that, because I'm from Brazil, so I'm not so familiar with all the European geography. Anyway, so if you are an eligible company and your idea fits one of our missions and the challenges, please apply. Don't be shy of that, because this is where the great ideas come from. People who think, oh, maybe this fit, maybe this does not fit, but the idea is sometimes it's so good that it can be very, it can be applied in a broader sense. So please don't be shy.
Okay, so we have a question from a company based in Georgia. Based on the answer, they have already an active history of applying and developing innovation solutions, but they're wondering now their food waste solution, can it also work in many, is it just limited to the region of Georgia, which I think we have already a clear answer. So is a solution from Georgia only limited to the region of East of Georgia? No, or yes?
No, it can be applied to any region.
Then we have a question related to startups. What stage should a startup have reached to have realistic chances to be chosen? Is a pre-seed startup eligible?
I think maybe I can answer from an administrative point of view, but in the contracting phase that will take place in November, December, this company should have a company registration number of a valid VAT. So I don't know, Gustavo, if you have something more to add here, because he mentions the pre-seed startup.
Yes, I don't know if pre-seed startup means that you already have a company, but you are still on pre-seed financing, or if you are in an very early stage development. But anyway, as Luisa said, if during the document check, if you have a VAT, then it's okay. And because and also if you fit all the other criterias, and if you have a technology there, yes. It's not being pre-seed is not a problem, because you can even apply if you don't have a company yet. This is open. Just this is an open criteria. You just later need to register yourself, but that's not a problem.
We have another question related to TRLs. How do you define upper TRL 6? And what is expected, how to define it in case of an IT-based solution?
Well, I think
Yeah,
we
so
have... Sorry, go ahead, Gustavo.
No, I just want to emphasize, because I added a link in the chat. This is an explanation from the commission, and there they even address, where is the link? I think I closed it here, but it even make this relation between here they have here, for example, examples from pharmaceutical industry, or example from hardware or system technologies. And they have a list of TRLs there. So I think there you can find and see how it matches. I think this is what he's asking. How to define upper TRL 6? Yes, because the TRL 6, we mean a prototype tested in a relevant environment. So technology is tested in a relevant environment. It starts to be considered as a representative prototype to be tested in a high fidelity laboratory environment or simulated operational environment. Just a quick example here. We once had a project to make analysis of parts through a camera. We had a TRL 6 system, so the camera was able to identify the parts. But the thing is, the camera was identifying one part every 10 seconds, and the real industrial operation needed the camera to analyze 100 parts per second. So that's the difference. I mean, it was a working prototype. It worked. It was able to analyze the images, but it was able to analyze the images in a simulated environment, not on real operational environment, which we would consider, for example, a TRL 9. So this is maybe this example can help you identify where you fit. But on this link again, they have just read it. It's written there. They have their examples and so on. So you can also take a look.
Thank you for such an in-depth answer, Gustavo. Now we have a much shorter question and the one on, where we can answer briefly. So can we just please specify once again, which subjects can be applicants? So just to list it once more, from startups to, but yeah, I will leave it to Luisa, I guess, to tell us.
Type of applicants. The target applicants are different companies, different types of companies. Regarding the type of applications, we will have 3 modalities. One the innovators with for those who has a challenge, who intend to address one of the challenges defined in SoTecIn Factory. The second one is for those applicants that has a challenge, a solution, but with the challenge defined in SoTecIn Factory do not fit to this solution. He can propose a challenge. And the third one is the 2-in-1, that we will select a consortium that will propose a solution and a challenge.
So if you don't mind me, Luisa, I would just say you have 3 ways of approaching the open call, 3 ways of applying, as Luisa explained. But regarding the type of applicant, we were looking for civil society members, either individuals or organizations. It's not really, if Luisa will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not really just about startups or SMEs, it's individuals or organizations as civil society members.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yes.
That's correct.
The main working document for applying would be Annex 2 proposal, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Another question is, where do I state my own challenge? How long and detailed it's supposed to be? Now, probably the person asking thought about the solution instead of challenge, but Can we answer?
No, maybe he's in that option that you can bring your own challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just in case it is aligned to the mission. I mean, because this is interesting because it's not a challenge of a company; it's a challenge of a sector. So we have defined the mission, and these representatives from the society brought us which are the challenges of that specific sector. Of course, if the challenge of the sector is a challenge of that company, but it's not. The challenge is not your, let's say, operational problem that you are facing, but your competitors have already gone through it. It's a broader theme, which should be based in the mission. Anyway, we have 21 challenges there. I mean, we were able to go through most of the or many topics related to the missions, but we don't have an answer on how long or how detailed it should be. The suggestion I give you is to try to describe it as a sectoral challenge, not as your own operational challenge. And you can also, of course, you can always look into the other challenges, see how are they described, and try to make something with that level of details.
You're muted, Milana.
Oh, yes. Still muted. Okay. No, now you're muted again. No, you came and then went back.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Do you hear me
Yes.
now? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
So we have only 1 minute left and a lot of
Okay.
questions to answer. So we'll try to answer as much as we can directly, if possible, through the chat. But we'll see. So what was the next? We have, is it planned to choose one solution for one particular challenge? Will be the proposals aiming the same mission or challenges will be challenging each other to be accepted? So basically the question is if we understood one solution, one challenge, or more solutions for one challenge. This is how we understood it. And another thing about the challenges, should we align the milestones with the challenge owner rather than proposing them alone when we are applying for a specific challenge? That's related to the questions related to challenges. And then we have some questions about the financing. When we are suggesting the proposal, should it be forecasted for 15k euros or 100k euros? So yeah, a lot of questions, some about financing.
Yes, just let me go through this one because I think this is important about the challenge owner.
Okay.
The challenge owners are partners who suggest challenges, but they don't have any commitment to the project or to the company who is applying for that challenge. It is a good opportunity because you are addressing a challenge that there is a company, at least, that it is interested on that, but you don't need to align the milestones with the challenge owner and so on. These are just broad ideas, sectoral challenges. The challenge owners just gave us inputs, and some of them are very interested in the solutions that will show up, but there is no need for such commitment with them.
If it's okay by everybody, we could expand a few more minutes just to answer all of these questions. I think it would be interesting to everybody to hear the answers. Just a moment to go to the last one. So yes, sorry, there's so many questions. We're trying to reach the. Yes, we talked about milestones, aligning with the milestones of challenge owners. And then, yeah, we had a question about choosing one solution for one particular challenge. Is that a case? Is it open for more? Something we can answer directly or here, however you prefer?
Yeah, I think the challenges and the missions, we already went through several questions, so it's open. You can apply to one challenge. You can have a solution that fits more than one challenge or more than one mission. This is not a problem.
We have the question, as you said, about the finances. When should the last proposal be forecasted for the 15k euros or 100k euros?
It should be forecasted for 100K euros.
Yes.
Sorry, Gustavo, interrupted you.
No, it's okay. Go on.
Although we don't ask a lot or so many details about how is going to be the second phase, of course, you should the applicants should envision that he's going to be selected for the first and second phase. So it will, of course, it will reach a lot the proposal for evaluators in order to analyze from the beginning until the end. So if you're going to prepare your proposal, so envision the 100K euros and the participation in both phases.
We have a question about the co-financing of the applicant or challenge owner. Is it allowed if the project needs more than 15K for the phase one?
No, the 15K euros is the budget limit. So we don't have any rules regarding the co-financing if the project needs more than this.
Yes.
Then we have a question about the definition of social innovators, how it is understood. Are we putting more focus on the individuals applying or more than the social enterprise as an organization? We kind of organize that, but already answered, but yeah, it's both individuals and organizations, not just one or the other. But Luisa, go ahead and give a different answer.
I didn't understand well the question, Ilan.
So in the glossary, we define social innovator as an individual or organization as part of the civil society based in European Union. So are we putting more focus on the individuals applying or more on the social enterprises as an organization?
No, there is no difference about this. So we will evaluate both in the same way. The only requirement here is that during the contracting phase, we are going to ask for a VAT, a valid VAT. So this individual cannot be a cannot sign a contract with SoTecIn Factory alone. So he should be a representative of a company with a valid VAT. That's only the requirement about that. But both can apply and they will be evaluated equally.
Yeah, for example, you should have a social approach. For example, there's an IT company that among their recruiting program, they recruit people from the regional service, I don't know how to say that, but people who are in vision. So they recruit them, they train them, and they have a part of the team that are coming from this group of the society. So they have a social project in line with their own activities and so on. So this is what we are looking for. Companies who also have a social approach. It doesn't need to be a social business as a whole. We're discussing before for profit or not for profit. This is not the main goal here, but to have this social perspective.
We have questions about can the company from based in United Kingdom apply, and how many applications do we estimate, do we expect? Well, we can tell you that we expect to have 25 beneficiaries in accepted via phase one, but in total we expect to have 50 social innovators. So in both programs. But for the United Kingdom, I will leave Luisa to.
Yes, they can apply. United Kingdom in the past was considered a EU member, but now it is an associated country, so they can perfectly apply.
If our initial application is successful, what are the next steps? Is there an interview process, or it just means we are successful?
As described in the open call documents, the interview is optional. Only if evaluators will need some more clarifications that we are going to invite the company for an interview. But the process is the proposals are going to be evaluated by internal and external evaluators, and if they need any further clarifications, we are going to invite the company for an interview. If not, we are going to advance to the final phase, that is the selection of and the results announcement.
We have a few more left, so bear with us for 3 more minutes. Are there any restrictions for different cost types?
No, because it's a lump sum initiative. Of course, we ask for some basic information about the costs, but since it's a lump sum, there is no restriction about this. Gustavo, do you have anything?
I mean, yes, no, we have the eligible expenses. It's written in the call. The lump sum means that you don't need, on the first hand, you don't need to submit the invoices and all the comprovatives and so on, but you need to keep them with yourself in case there is any auditing from the European Commission, so you need to have all the documents. But lump sum means you just broadly declare your expenses, but you can adjust it accordingly. You don't need to submit any requests to spend money on this, on that. The eligibility is written in the call, and you can spend in those topics.
We have a question about a country from Romania, which is asking us about how important is the tech aspect of the applications. Is there more about reviving sustainable practices that have been forgotten? So perhaps you can, Gustavo, Luisa can answer directly for the examples of textile goals or applicabilities that we focus on, but to give a general, broader answer about the tech aspect in this open call.
In the textile, for example, that we had, I don't remember by heart all the challenges, but I remember I saw some related to the digital passport. So the traceability of the clothes and where it came from and so on. So related to data spaces and so on. So I remember there was one of the challenges was bringing up the traceability topic.
Yes, we have another question. Does the solution must be tech? I mean, it's more about tech-driven solutions in the end. So, but
yeah, it doesn't must be. I mean, in my mind, I always think about IT solutions. But for example, we just had a question about the cardboard solution. So yes, we are open to any solutions.
We have one quick question, which we already answered before, but it's about the Horizon project budget. If somebody's already supported via Horizon, I guess we can give the same answer. Can we apply? Yes, you can apply for this, but with different project. That's the rule of European Commission. You're always welcome to apply for different open goals and projects. You project as long as you have a different initiatives that for each funding. And I think we got everything answered. We did have one personal question about company from Israel. Maybe you can answer.
Just let me say something. Which one? Sorry.
We have a personal question about it.
Enterprise is a concept for us. I don't think so. Israel is not part of the European Union. And actually, what I wanted to mention. Yes, Luisa, please.
Yes, actually, Israel is an associated country, so they are eligible.
Okay, but also UK is associated country. But the answer we got, and this is what I want to mention, the answer we got from our national contact point is that for UK here, the agreement between UK and the European Union is still not signed, so they can be associated partners, but they can't get funding from the European Union. What they do is you can apply for it, and then you ask for funding in the UKRI, UK Research something. We need to check. Let's check with our project officer, and we can. I think this is a very interesting question. We'll just to let you all know from these questions, we'll organize a Q&A document. So we'll bring these questions there, but and we'll quickly check this one and add there.
Okay, we reached the end of the Q&A section, and thank you all so much for such wonderful questions. They really contributed to our discussion. As Gustavo said, we're going to have them in mind and try to answer them as best as possible. Again, just to remind you, you can always write to us directly at SoTecIn Factory at Sept.com. That is the official email for any open call related question, or reach out to us in any channels that you see here. We apologize for taking a little bit more time, but as you saw, there was a lot of interest and a lot of your questions. And if you don't mind, we're going to stop recording and close the webinar now. Thank you so much, and see you at different other SoTecIn Factory webinars.
Thank you. Bye-bye.